My dad buzzed my head in the bathroom, setting up 3 cameras. As my hair fell into the sink, he narrated for his viewers. This is what real strength looks like, folks. My son refusing to let cancer define him. His voice held a practiced sincerity that brought strangers to tears but made my stomach turn. I was 11 and perfectly healthy. But Dad's YouTube channel, Journey with Jesse, had hit 50,000 subscribers and needed the kind of content that guaranteed monetization. He explained it strategically. Cancer vlogs performed 300% better than our previous family content. The decision was a business plan, not a moral question. I was to fake a terminal illness. The first hospital filming was at Children's Medical Center. Dad had bribed a night nurse named Violet to let us into the pediatric oncology waiting room at 6 a.m. I sat among the real sick kids and their exhausted parents, performing sadness for strangers while they faced tragedy. Dad coached me. Look brave but vulnerable, hopeful but realistic. A mother approached, asking my diagnosis. Dad answered smoothly, with a lie he'd researched for medical accuracy. Stage 3 osteosarcoma in his left femur. The woman, whose daughter had the same diagnosis, squeezed my shoulder. Her daughter died 4 months later. Dad used her story in a video, calling her a fellow warrior mom for gravitas. My 13-year-old brother, Declan, had been filming Dad's content for years. He knew every editing trick to maximize emotional impact. When I asked him if what we were doing was messed up, he shrugged. Every successful channel has a gimmick. Ours is just more profitable than most. I heard him editing later, mixing audio of my fake crying with filters to make the hospital lighting look harsh and deepen shadows under my eyes. 2 weeks into the cancer lie, Dad launched a GoFundMe with a $200,000 goal for experimental treatment. He used specific medical terms to make the request sound legitimate, writing the campaign in my voice about fighting for my life. Donations, often $20 to $100, poured in immediately, accompanied by comments full of prayers and personal stories of loss. Within 3 days, we'd raised $8,000. Within a week, it was $23,000. Dad watched the numbers climb with hungry anticipation, already planning the next plot points of our deceitful story. School became impossible. Dad decided I needed to be homeschooled to focus on treatment and recovery. The real reason. He needed me available for filming during optimal posting times and couldn't risk teachers noticing I was perfectly healthy. Our house had become a film studio. Dad converted the guest room into a fake hospital room with an stand and monitoring equipment bought from a medical supply store. My fake diagnosis required fake treatment. For chemotherapy, he bought saline 4 bags, needles, and tubing from a veterinary clinic. The chemotherapy videos were the worst. I'd sit on the guest room bed, the fake hospital room, with a clear saline pour running into my arm, the needle taped down by Dad. He'd film my face, cueing me to look brave but weary, while he narrated to the camera about the nausea, the fatigue, and the terrible burden of watching your child suffer through treatment. In reality, I felt nothing but the slight pressure of the needle and the suffocating weight of the lie. As soon as the camera was off, I'd quickly disconnect the chemo, finished, and go back to being a normal kid, playing video games or riding my bike. However, I had to be constantly vigilant. Dad warned me relentlessly about maintaining the narrative in public, saying one single photo of me looking healthy could destroy everything we built, the channel, the GoFundMe, and his projected monetization goals. He'd drilled into me that if the lie was exposed, people would demand their money back, and he could face criminal charges for fraud. The elaborate lie we built suddenly spun into real danger. The threat wasn't from general viewers, but from a specific, knowledgeable person. A major donor named Mr. Hayes, who had given $10,000, emailed Dad demanding a meeting. He claimed his own daughter had the same rare cancer and wanted to connect me with a renowned specialist. Dad instantly panicked. This wasn't a trusting fan. This man knew the actual medical details and could expose our fraud with one question. The risk had escalated from anonymous comments to a direct, knowledgeable confrontation. The stakes completely changed. The game was now about protecting Dad from criminal charges.